Now, is our guest ready?
Yes.
Now, our next guest, he's a legendary radio host who upsets a lot of people with his unfiltered opinions. Please welcome on the legend himself, the one, the only, Jesse Lee Peterson. Jesse, how you doing, my friend?
All is well, Alex. Thanks for having me on.
Well, it's always a pleasure to talk to you. So what's going on in the world today, Jesse? I mean, you know, you see Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift at that football game last night. What do you think about that?
I thought, what a mess. And I was surprised at the media making such a big deal over someone that plays football and someone that sings, as though there are no other problems around, right? Our borders are overflowing. Everybody and their mama are coming in from around the world, and they're going to destroy our country. And these people carried on over a singer and a dumb football player. It was the dumbest thing I ever heard of.
Yeah, no, you're exactly right. The stuff that we idolize is absolutely ridiculous. So,
Yeah.
Jesse, I want to play. This is one of my favorite clips of you from the Dr. Phil show. I love this clip. So let's play this. I want to start off with a hot clip. And this clip made a lot of people mad, but I don't know why. So let's run it, and then I want to get your instant reaction.
Right?
All right.
Yes. And you're a radio host?
Yes.
Okay. And you said you believe white people should have more children?
We definitely need white babies. And I tremble at the idea that that the white group is going down in numbers, because if you lose white folks, America, it's over for America. Because if you notice, white people tend to be more innovative. They're more creative. They have ideas about things. All these other races don't do nothing but destroy. They don't build.
But
they
he's
destroy.
Wrong.
I said you'd piss off everybody. I was wrong. Now you've pissed off everybody.
Jesse, what was going through your mind? That'd be a tough room. All those white guys are looking at you like they want to kill you.
They were like, what the? But it's the truth. I was telling the truth. And there's some poll or something came out, said that after a number of years, white people be the minority in our country and not the majority. And as we all know, whether we want to admit it or not, but we got to admit it, is that if the numbers of white people go down, it will be over for America. That's why people from around the world are going to the Western countries, the Western part of the world, because people of color cannot build. They only destroy, and it's only white people who are building. They're innovative. They have amazing idea. They love to live a first-class life, so they work hard to make that happen. And then the people of color comes in, and all they ever do is destroy. They never build. Look at their asshole countries. Look at the in our own country, the places where black people and others are living is a mess. Crime out of control. Neighborhoods are not being taken care of at all. Out of wedlock birth, out of control. Anger is out of control. And then they destroy those areas and they go to the suburbs where the white people are living, and they run the white people out. And the white people are like, okay, we're not racist. Y'all can stay here. And they leave, and they turn those areas into a hellhole. It's the truth. This is why I'm saying that white people, y'all better stop having abortions. You better stop killing your baby. Having abortion. You better stop having 1 and 2 kids. You better go back to having 10 and 11 and 12 kids, because they're going to do to the white people what they've done to the whites in South Africa. Exact same thing they did to the whites in South Africa, they're doing it to the whites in America. They ran them out of the cities. White folks gave over the cities. They moved out into the farmlands. And now the blacks are going out there to kill them, robbing and raping and breaking in their homes.
Yeah, South Africa is a mess. But let me tell you this, Jesse. And you talk about this subject a lot. We try to break everything down. A lot of people do break down by race or gender. But what about this idea, Jesse? And I'm not trying to white knight for everybody, but is it just erasing, or is it growing up without a parent thing? Because I think any kid, no matter their color, if you come from a broken home, aren't you more than likely going to have a rougher upbringing, Jesse?
Well, you're right. You're absolutely right about that. I grew up in Alabama. I grew up under the so-called Jim Crow laws, and they say that the blacks and whites were segregated. But that didn't stop black people from having fathers and mothers in the home. They had grandparents together. We were taught to work when we were children. And our parents prepared us to be ready to go out on our own as adults and deal with life. I left home at 18. And even though there were the black and white water fountains and things like that, I never heard the word racism. It did not exist. They told us, and they told the white kids and white people to treat one another the way you would like to be treated. And so black people were not begging and whining and destruction and violent and all this drug stuff. They were not blaming white people. That happened as a result of the civil rights movement and the Democratic Party. The worst thing, other than abortion, that has ever happened to the blacks was the civil rights movement. Martin Luther King and all those guys, they made up this lie that black people, you guys can't make it. The Jim Crow law is holding you back. You're not going to be able to do it. That was a lie because black people were buying land. They were educating themselves. They were working hard. That was a lie, Alice.
Oh.
And then the black people fell for it, and they sold their life over to the Martin Luther King and Jesse Jackson and others, and they sold them to the Democratic Party. It's just been downhill ever since.
No, and Jesse, that's why they say that the KKK was actually created by the Democrats, is because black businesses were beating the white businesses. There was more of a business thing, is that people want to eat at black restaurants. People were eating a black, shoe store. And so that they would purposely go and destroy the businesses so they wouldn't have to compete against them economically. So why did the country shift where they targeted marginalized people? It's just because the population of black people are less? I mean, you have to admit, even though black people are targeted unfairly, Jesse, a little bit. Wouldn't you agree a little bit? I mean, compared to me,
I don't know what you mean by
get pulled over
that.
for driving while black. That does happen to other people.
Right. And the reason you're asking me some good questions, I want to deal with all of them. When I was growing up, I did not know any black Democrats. My parents, my grandparents, and others were Republicans. Even Martin Luther King at the time was a Republican, so he pretended. But he was a Republican. Blacks were not a part of the Democratic Party because the Democrats didn't want blacks in their party. And so the Republican Party was created by blacks and whites together because they did not want the blacks in the Democratic Party. And as a result, the KKK were Democrats, and they didn't like the blacks because the blacks were becoming senators and congressmen. They were independent. So they went after the blacks because of the power they were getting as a Republican, not because of their color. And then that was another lie that came from Jesse Jackson and others, or the so-called civil rights movement. It was not true. The civil rights leaders sold the blacks to the Democratic Party so that they can lead the black people in the right way to go. And as far as blacks being targeted, you got to think of this, man. The blacks are committing the crimes. They are not respecting the officers when they're stopped and told what to do. They are cursing them out. They're giving them hard times, and that's why they are targeted. If they act like they had sense and follow the orders, follow the order of the police officer, you wouldn't have the problem that you see. Don't do the time. Don't do the crime. You won't do the time. They were not doing this when I was growing up. All of a sudden, it's changed when they tried to blame the white man for the downfall of the black people. White people have nothing to do with it. It's on the individual. It's not on the white person or the white people. It's on the individual. And black people have given up thinking and doing for themselves. They're whining. They want affirmative action. They want reparation. They want free housing. They want everything free. When will they stop begging? When would enough be enough? You don't hear other people doing that. And other people are starting to do it now because they're using this idea of civil rights movement. But at some point, you have to say no to them. Go and get a family. Take care of yourself.
Jesse, and I want to introduce you to my other in-studio guest, this guy by the name of Alex Rosen. He has one of the biggest channels where he goes and he confronts a lot of these. He's a pedophile poacher. He catches a lot of these people that are, trying to meet up with young kids. You want to ask the Reverend something?
How's it going, Jesse? Nice to meet you.
All is well. You too.
Good. Yeah. So have you heard of like people catching online child predators before?
No, I haven't. I'm about to find. I'm about
You
to
gotta,
check it
Jesse,
out.
you gotta watch his channel. So he goes and they use decoys just like Chris Hansen does, and they'll get the guy in there and they think they're meeting an 8-year-old girl, and then you get a 300-pound man right in your face. It's good
I
stuff.
like that.
Yeah. If you watch the videos, you'll probably use both your catchphrases, tragic and amazing. So, I mean, you definitely need to check it out.
They are
I
amazing.
definitely will. Do you guys agree with me that white people should have babies because
Oh yeah.
they
Yes.
don't? It's over for America.
I mean,
My
yeah,
producer's having a
absolutely.
baby. Show my producer. This guy's actually having a baby somehow, Jesse. This is my producer.
Right on.
But he went to Princeton. Jesse, and he thinks he's so smart. Will you please tell him how Ivy League schools do not equal a smart student? Can you please wake him up a little bit?
Wake me up.
The dumbest people on this side of heaven are the ones with the degrees.
Yeah.
The more degrees you have, the dumber you become, right? And if you doubt me, look at the country and look at the people who are running the country. They have degrees. We are divided. Illegal aliens are coming across the border like 90 going north. The races are more divided than ever before in history. They stopped drilling oil. They over there so-called helping the Ukraine while they're doing nothing for their own hometown. These people have degrees. So I don't know about you, man, but the smart people are the dumb people. We got to go dumb again to make America work.
Hey, Alex, can I ask him a quick question? A producer
Barely.
question?
Yes, I'll allow it.
Okay.
Hurry.
Well, I wasn't expecting this question, but first, how have you not said anything about Alex's hat?
Because he's not racist.
Oh, I was going to ask. I'm surprised that they let him wear that hat because they don't like for you to show anything that's real. But I love the fact that you're not afraid to wear it. We need more of that. We got to get rid of fear. Any man that has fear is a beta male.
That's legendary. Yeah. Jesse, your catchphrases are so good, and that's why I think you become such an icon on the internet. Now, this is another thing I'm giving you to all my employees. This is White Darius. He's a terrible employee as well, and he wants to ask you something. Dude, if you speak, do not cuss or say anything. He's a Christian man. I will spray you with this Windex. What do you want to say to him? Get on camera.
On Larry Sinclair and Obama.
Oh, yeah. What did you think about... Okay, ask him. That's a good question.
Why do so many light-skinned brothers like getting sucked off by white men?
Get out of here! Stop! No, he said, why did Barack Obama like a white guy? Is it because he's light-skinned is the question, or do light-skinned guys like all colors? I guess that's the question.
Well, I don't really comment on that because I don't know if it's true or not.
Yeah.
And we have a society now that's so full of anger and revenge and fear, and they're trying to take it out. So I don't know, but I do know that other than Joe Biden, the fallen Messiah, Barack Obama, and Big Mama Michelle was the worst thing we ever had in the White House. It was a big mistake to have Obama. And I knew it wasn't going to work because Obama, he hate white people. He hate America. He hates what's good. And I told the people, don't vote for Barack Obama. He's going to destroy this country. And that's exactly what happened. And it's still happening. I personally believe that Obama and I don't have proof yet, but I personally believe that if not him per se, the people that he left behind are still carrying out his orders to destroy America. It's a mess.
Jesse, where does Satan come into all this? I do believe that these people worship Satan like Hillary Clinton, Barack Obama. Where does, for the people that are watching this and may be agnostic or atheist, I don't care what your spiritual belief are. The people that are running this country, they do have a spiritual belief, and I believe it to be Satan. So where does Satan come into play in all the problems we're having today?
Anyone. I don't care how rich or poor, what color you are, where you live, anyone, male or female, anyone that has anger is working for evil. Anger is your enemy. Anyone that has anger has fear. And anyone that has anger, you cannot trust. They are a murderer, and they will destroy you, whether it's family members, husband and wife, your own children, friends. If they have anger, they will destroy you. And unfortunately, our country is being encouraged to hold on to anger to push anger as good, and especially the women. And the reason the women are doing it because, as we all know, the God above is the God of the man, and the God below is the God of the woman. And so evil comes through the woman, and it destroys the family, the children, the husband, the cat, the dog, the
Not the
paint on
cat, Jesse.
house.
I love my cat. They better not destroy my cat. No, but these women, they break my heart. That's my weak point, Jesse. Is that why? So keep going. But women are always my weak point.
Right. And the only way that you're going to overcome that, you're going to have to forgive your mother for turning you away from your father and recreating you in her image. Because any man that has anger is a woman. That is the nature of the female, but the nature of the man is of God, which is of love. He speak up, he deal with issues, but he doesn't judge. He doesn't live in his imagination. He doesn't operate from emotions. All thoughts, except practical thoughts, all thoughts and emotions are evil. They are not from God, and they are not from you. They are anyone that has anger. And in our country, they're encouraging men to be emotional, just like the woman. And as long as the man is not logical but emotional, we're not going to be able to bring our country back to what it was prior to the fall, right? But anger works through the woman. And if you notice, they are putting women in charge of the homes, the schools, the government, in charge of the police department, city councils, everything, because they know the order is God in Christ, Christ over man, man over woman, and woman over children. And if you put that woman over the man, over the children, she's going to destroy them. And that's what's happening in our country. Women are not created to lead. They were created to follow. But they're changing the order because they know that it's not in her nature to lead. It's in her nature to follow. And men have to go and forgive their mothers for turning them against their fathers and recreating them in her image. And once they forgive the mother, God will forgive them and forgive the father for not protecting them from the mother, because he can help himself. He hated his mother, so he married to his mother, and the cycle repeats itself. But once they forgive, don't ask for forgiveness, but say, I'm sorry for resenting you. The parents couldn't help themselves. They did the best, right? God will forgive you, and he will change your abnormal nature, which is of your mother, which is of evil, to your normal nature, which is of your earthly father and of God. And things will get better. You will have no fear. You will have perfect peace. And all men and all women must be born of the Father. They must return back to the Father so that they can have a normal life of peace and love rather than an abnormal of anger and fear. But it's working through the woman. That's why men can't handle women, because they're afraid of them. And it started with their mothers. They're afraid to be honest with their mothers and tell them
Jesse,
what
I
they've
have
done to
I
them.
have commitment issues. I've been with multiple girls that I like that don't even have really a thing that I should break up with them for. But then once I have to actually make that long commitment, Jesse, I'm afraid to do it. Both my parents got divorced, and I think that is the woman or anger. There's something in me that's making me afraid to go, for the full thing, to get engaged. And I've had multiple opportunities, Jess.
So you have not forgiven your mother for turning you away from your father?
I probably do need to forgive her. I mean, honestly, the anger stuff, though, I do think having anger is like drinking poison and expecting the other person to die. No, I do. I do get mad at my producer, but that's different.
The worst thing that you can have in your life is anger. Yeah. Anger is evil. And anyone that have it is evil. So if you are serious about this and you have not forgiven your mother, you're going to have to shake in your boots. Have no expectation from her. Don't expect her to apologize or to say that she's wrong.
My mom passed away, Jess. So what do I do now, Jesse? How do I do that?
To realize, just as you can't help yourself, you get all these crazy thoughts and feelings that it's not you, but it's something that made a home in your imagination. Your mother had the same problem, that she did the best she could. And when you realize that you cannot help yourself, it will cause you to realize that your mother could not help herself. And because she has expired, you can't go to her, but that will cause you to forgive her. God will allow you to see and cause you to forgive her, and then forgive your father, and you'll become free. You will have perfect peace. And when you date women, or you would date them not with fear, but with perfect love. And if it's meant for you to marry, the right woman would come into your life. It would be added unto you, and it would be a marriage that lasts until death do you part. But if you don't forgive your mother, you're going to always end up with the wrong woman. It would be impossible to end up with the right woman because you're going to end up with women that were just like your mother.
And I feel like I am kind
What a mess!
I know, what a mess. So, Jesse, you're speaking the truth. Everything you're saying, I'm vibing with. That's why you're one of the wisest guys. You have some of the most wisdom on the internet, Jesse. I know you don't have some fancy degree, but I think of you as one of the smartest guys that I get to talk to. You want to say anything before we go, Alex? Because we got to let him go here in the next minute or two.
The one thing I want to tell you real fast, that this is the problem with human beings, with human nature. There's no such thing as racism, never has been, never will be, ain't gonna be. No such thing as sexism, no such thing as homophobism, no such thing as white supremacism, no such thing as anti-Semitism. It's no ism. It's a warfare between good and evil. Angry, hateful people resent people who have overcome their anger. And that warfare is going on, and it's happening within the person. It's not somebody else's fault except for their parents. That's why you have to forgive them. But it's a spiritual battle. It has nothing to do with the physical at all. We've been lied to when they attack. They cover up evil by giving it fancy names like racism and sexism and all that mess. It has nothing to do with that at all.
Wow. Well, speaking of racism, my producer has one last question, Jimmy.
Yeah, Jesse, when I was doing research on you, I saw something on Wikipedia I've never seen before. Just a section that says racism, and it's 5 paragraphs.
Yeah, you have a whole section, Jesse. Of my Wikipedia is crazy too, but Jesse, you're the only Wikipedia we've ever seen. One section, just racism. That's all it says. No context. I didn't even know that was a possible section on a Wikipedia. But Jimmy, why don't you read a couple snippets that you might find interesting?
Peterson opposes allowing Muslims to serve in Western governments.
Well, after 9/11, I mean, I think everybody felt that same way. Okay.
Think about that. Why would we allow our enemies to come into our country who hate us and put them in our government?
Yeah, I think you got to.
That doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah.
Okay, Ilyana Omar. You remember Ilyana Omar?
Of course, she's still there. She's the biggest terrorist there is.
In 2018, Peterson said Black Lives Matter movement was founded by black lesbians and homosexuals.
True. Patrice Cullors was a lesbian. So, I mean...
Not only did I say that, I said fat, black, radical lesbians.
They didn't even get it right. But yeah, but Jesse, how much did she spend on that? She got all that Black Lives Matter money. How many mansions did she buy, Jesse? Can you remind me?
Oh, my God. I forgot how many, but it was all about self. It was never about the blacks. Black people are still killing one another, and others, they're robbing and killing white folks. They're still fighting with one another, and everybody. Nothing changed, but they got rich. And we hardly hear from them out there protesting anymore.
Yeah, I know. You don't hear anything. It's silent. Now all that money went to Joe Biden. So, listen, I want... Okay, this is my last question, and then tell the people where you can find them.
No such thing as isms.
I agree, and we learned a lot today, but you have $100 of extra money in your pocket, Jesse, and you see a 6'7", 19-year-old black man, or you see 3 Guatemalan immigrants fresh off the cartel boat. Who would you rather give that money to? Would you rather help out the young black man from America, or would you rather give it to the 3 Guatemalan illegal immigrants?
Well, in all honesty, I wouldn't give it to neither one of them. But, either one of them. But if you twist my arm, I would give it to the American citizen rather than the illegal alien or anybody from another country.
Yeah, I think that's the right way to be.
I wouldn't be so fast to give it to the black guy either, because one of the things that has happened to the blacks is that they have been taken care of for the last 70 years. They've been told that they can't make him poor black. You're so pitiful. It's a white man. Here's $1. Here's affirmative action. You can come into our school without earning your way. You can do whatever. And they're only gotten worse because instead of getting better, you can hurt people by giving them at the wrong time and in the wrong way. And that's one of the things that has happened to the black. They've been catered to.
Yeah, once you give a mouse a cookie, you got to give him milk. It kind of never stops. You have to continually keep helping him.
I'm dealing with in LA. I'm dealing with the homeless people out here on the streets. You run into them all the time, and they are so mean and nasty, and they expect something for nothing. They want to lay out in front of your building and think that you should just walk by and let that happen. But I don't let that happen at all. And they get mad. They throw trash in the alleyway out there. They don't care because they are being spoiled and they have been told that it's not their problem, it's someone else's problem. These people, the government don't love these people. They don't love us. They don't love anybody. It's about self and no one else. So we have to be careful how we help people.
No, you're right. I mean, it's become the homeless industrial complex where these homeless, philanthropical groups, these charities get money and they don't even spend it on helping homeless people. They just throw galas and just basically, do self-serving stuff with it.
So I got to ask all of you guys that I've spoken to there a question, if I may, a quick question.
Yes, sir.
Do you let me see the engineer as well, if I can.
Yeah, you can see me. Oh, yeah. I don't know if you can see Jimmy.
You can't do it but you can just hear me.
You can see
I'm here.
Okay.
We're all watching
I
now.
start with you. I start with him first.
Okay.
What's his name? What's your name?
Jimmy.
Hi.
Jimmy.
What's your name, Jimmy?
Yep,
Yes,
my
sir.
name's Jimmy.
Oh, Jimmy. Do you love white people?
Yeah, I think, yeah.
Yes, Jimmy, you idiot.
This sounds like a trap.
Do you love white people?
Yes.
Say yes, Jimmy.
Alice, do you love white people?
I love white people. Oh, I love white people so much. White people are so great. Oh, I need more white people. I need a white, big booty white woman right now. I love white people so much.
And I'm sorry, I don't remember
His
your
name-
name.
Yeah, also Alex.
Yes, he likes white
I
people.
like the non-college educated ones. The college educated ones need to jump off a cliff, but I'm
Ah,
not inciting
Jimmy,
violence, not
cliff.
inciting violence.
No, cliff.
Jump off a cliff note
The
on their desk,
bungee
that's
jump,
cool, yeah, bungee jump, yeah,
bungee
yeah.
jump off a cliff. No insult to violence, anything like
Right, no, absolutely
that.
not.
Exercise off the cliff.
The reason I asked that because on my shows I always ask, do you love white people? And 9 times out of 10, most people tremble at that question.
Jimmy, my producer, did you see how scared he was? Yeah, because he went to Ivy League. No, Jesse, I'm not even kidding. He is such a baby back BI. Like he's like, he would be scared to say I love white people. Like he's gonna get canceled for loving white people. Give me a break. You nailed it though. You were right. 2 out of 3.
I thought that was going to go into some all lives matter question.
No, and
like
now you're scared, just like Jesse said. When you asked
I'm a
that
baby
question,
back bitch. You're right. I
White
will
people
own up to
start.
that.
What did I say about cussing? White people start. You're not allowed to cuss on the air as a producer, Jimmy. Jesse,
bad.
do you let your producers cuss on the air?
No,
I'm sorry.
not at all.
Thank you.
Oh,
But Jimmy,
fiddlesticks.
Jimmy, I can ask them, do you love black people? Yes, I love black people. Do you love the Mexican? Yes, I love the Mexican. But when you ask, do you love the white people? They pause. They're like, is this a trick question? I'm going to sound like a racist. I'm like, that doesn't make sense. We're supposed to love all people, right? Why can't you say you love white people?
No, you're right. And that's a great social experiment that you just played me very well.
You got schooled, Jimmy. Ivy Leagues. You got schooled by Jesse Lee Peterson, the Reverend, and he studied theology in school. He studied religious studies. So I think even you know more about religion than him, Jesse.
Oh, Jimmy studied religious?
Yeah, he thinks he knows a lot about stuff.
I was a religious studies major at Princeton. So it wasn't like
Really?
it wasn't theology, like it wasn't Reverend school, but I learned about the Abrahamic religions and theology and philosophy of religion more.
And so why are you afraid to say you love white people right away?
I just wasn't expecting that kind of question.
'Cause
But
you're-
you're right. If someone asked me that again, I say yes, I love white people.
Thank you, Jesse. You are the best host. You come here and you can freaking manage my team. If it wasn't for your expertise, this blimp would crash. So, Jesse, before you go, tell the people how they can find you and support you.
They can go to rebuildingtheman.com, rebuildingtheman.com. Tell me fast. JesseLeePeterson.com, JesseLeePeterson.com.
All right, everybody, go to the website on the screen, Jesse Lee Peterson. Guys, go make sure to go follow JLP. I mean, he's been doing this longer than me. He's got a bigger following than me. But even if a couple of you, I call my chats, my followers, we call them chat rats. So I want some of the chat rats to go over to Jesse's channel, leave a positive comment. You gave me a lot of spiritual wisdom today, Jesse, and I'm not just kidding when I say that. Actually, you kind of woke me up, and I'll even message you later about it. But you struck a chord in me tonight. I love white people. I love you, and thank you for coming on, Jesse. Keep up the great work that you're doing, my friend.
I got to have you back on. It was so much fun when I had you on, so I really want to have you back.
Anytime.
We'll be contacting you soon. And I want everybody to know we have been lied to. It's not a physical battle. It's a spiritual battle. It's about the spirit, not about the color. And so they're covered up with these words of racism and sex. Everything's an ism, right? It's not true. It's either good or bad. And it's not about the color. So we got to stop using the language of the world, but call it what it is. It's spiritual. Then we can change America back. We are a Christian country. We should not be living in fear. And I promise you, I absolutely promise, if you overcome anger, it would be impossible to have fear. And you can literally live your own life, no matter what's going on around you. You will have perfect peace, but you got to overcome anger. You got to forgive your mothers and return to your fathers.
Well said. All right, Jesse, have a good one. Talk to you soon. I'll come on your show anytime. Just message me. I'm there. Thank you, my friend. Have a good evening.
Thank you. And it was good meeting everybody on the show.
Yeah, nice to meet you, Jesse.
We'll do it again soon. I know you're busy, but I'll bug you in a month or two, or I'll come on your show. Like I said, you struck a chord. I'll message you about it later. Thank you again, Jesse.
Okay, absolutely. Good to be on. Thank you.